He's all I have. He's all I have, and if I get him in trouble, I have nothing. I have no support. I have nobody. Literally, I have nobody.
What are you protecting? What happened? Are you willing to go to prison for the rest of your life for Robert?
No.
There's no protecting anyone at this point. We need to know.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know.
The more you continue down this path of trying to cover something, you're going to separate yourself from the child that you have now.
He had bruises from head to toe.
Your excuses now.
You're going to be under arrest right now.
If I get him in trouble, I have nothing. I have no support. I have nobody.
What are you protecting? What happened?
I was going to be next.
After years in foster care, a 3-year-old boy is reunited with his mother, only to suffer a horrific accident just 3 months later. But the truth is written on his small body, and it paints a far darker picture than anyone has been led to believe.
Robert told her to stick to the story or you'll never see it again.
Just hold on, Pops. Just hold on, Pops.
The following is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. At 3:20 p.m., June 14, 2023, dispatchers in Cleveland, Ohio receive an urgent call to 911.
Cleveland EMS with the address to the emergency. Yes, we need some paramedic here on 79th and Euclid here, and I believe this Borden Square.
Is this at the Family Dollar?
Stop breathing. I guess he fell at a park, a water park. She's been...
Officers with the Cleveland Division of Police arrive on scene, where paramedics have already begun life-saving efforts on 3-year-old Curtis Witcher, who is still unresponsive.
Did you see what happened in there?
No, he was not here. She came up and ran in the dollar store and asked all of us for our phones. We all called 911. I was on the ground with I don't mean to call him this, but the Caucasian man. He was giving them air, and I was trying to search for his pulse. He did not have a pulse since he got here.
I mean, what happened to the baby, though?
We don't know. She said he fell. Yeah, she understands.
She had 2 kids with her. A double
They said, are they going to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, we're going right now.
Okay, but do you know if he has a pulse yet, at least?
We're going to talk to her. She said in the back she ran.
And she's pregnant, too.
Yeah.
You guys are going to Rainbow Babies? Okay, we'll see you at the hospital.
With the mother in distress, the officer instead heads inside to speak with a store employee in the hopes of getting more information.
She says she was at a water park somewhere and her baby fell. She came in here and asked me if I would call 911. She said if nobody would call 911 for her. I don't know where it happened, but when she got here,
the
baby was unconscious.
He also learns the mother had a second child with her, and they both arrived in a double stroller.
The one that's in the ambulance, the one that's, was perfectly fine was back here.
Yeah, okay.
So when me and the white guy came outside, he just straight unstrapped him and took him out and laid him on the ground. And gave him CPR. Until you guys got here.
Your excuses now.
Back.
This story sounds shaky already. 3-year-old boy just falls in a water park, and now he's just unresponsive, pale. Let's keep it going.
So I didn't even try to talk to her. She's in the white van in the back. Yeah, she's got another.
Make sure we get her information.
Yeah, please.
The mother is identified as 30-year-old TIMMEKA EGGLETON, and she's transported along with both children, 3-year-old Curtis and 1-year-old John, to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. Meanwhile, officers attempt to figure out where Curtis may have suffered the fall, but hit a dead end.
She said this happened at a water park. Is there like an outdoor kids
That's
pool
what I'm
or something?
saying. Not that I know of what kind of sprinkle machine would be over here.
She capping.
No. She came in here with the kid already injured.
With no water parks nearby, officers radio their colleagues at the hospital, hoping they can ask the mom for a specific location.
Very hard to get any information from her right now. She's crying. She said the kid fell on his head at the water park. She put him in the stroller just for a little bit so he, calm down and recover. And then moments later, this happened. The little kid was unresponsive.
Tragically, just 40 minutes after the initial call to 911, 3-year-old Curtis Witcher was pronounced deceased. His autopsy the next morning would shatter any notion of an accidental death, and following several shocking discoveries, his death was ruled a homicide. TIMMEKA's 1-year-old is removed from her care and an investigation begins. Detectives soon learn that 3-year-old Curtis had only recently been returned to TIMMEKA's custody in January after spending most of his life in foster care.
Y'all some unstable creatures. See, I ain't gonna say the B word. I'm gonna say unstable creatures.
And following several shocking discoveries, his death was ruled a homicide. TIMMEKA's 1-year-old is removed from her care and an investigation begins. Detectives soon learn that 3-year-old Curtis had only recently been returned to TIMMEKA's custody in January. Protective supervision ended only 3 months ago.
Why was he taken away from you?
I was hospitalized with him when I was pregnant for a couple months. I lost my home because I couldn't pay my rent because I was hospitalized for all them months. Basically, I grew up in foster care. I have no support. So they thought I couldn't take care of him because I didn't have support.
But this isn't the whole truth, and as the investigators are about to learn, getting any semblance of honesty from TIMMEKA will be easier said than done. Already she's told an egregious lie about where Curtis suffered his injury, one that's easy enough to disprove. While at the hospital, TIMMEKA told an officer the name of the splash park was at the Lonnie Burton Recreation Center, a 2-mile walk from the Family Dollar.
Can you hear me, Sergeant?
Yes.
All right. Did you review the video and download the video from Splash Park and the surrounding project buildings?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did I send you a photograph of the female I was looking for?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Did you see that female at any moment at the park on Wednesday the 14th?
No, she was never there.
Okay. And then you spoke to a worker there?
Yeah, we have a resident worker who mans the splash park when it's open, and she never saw that female or those children there either.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Aside from Curtis being completely dry, paramedics documented something else that was even more alarming.
The report EMS is stating that Curtis was cold and clammy to the touch. When EMS arrived on scene.
As the detective steps out to take a phone call, his colleague gently presses TIMMEKA to start telling the truth.
He had been deceased for some time, enough for his body temperature to give them that feeling of being cold and clammy.
She acting surprised.
Does that make sense?
No, ma'am.
If he was unresponsive earlier than you thought, and you just don't want to say.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't know.
There's an old saying that goes, if she's breathing, she's lying.
So
yes, when he was in the stroller, thought he was asleep. Both of my kids was asleep. They do this every time I put them in the stroller and we take a long walk. They will fall asleep. I'm thinking my baby is asleep. I'm not thinking my baby's dead or none of that. I'm not thinking like that. Just calm down.
When he returns, the detective shares a disturbing detail from Curtis's autopsy, one that sets TIMMEKA on a defensive path.
He actually had marks across here, and they were like almost like whip marks, okay? And they call pattern, so it was consistent all through his midsection. Okay. Bad enough where even the tip of his penis was damaged.
Unsettling as it is, the worst details are still to come.
I don't whoop, sir. Right-handed. I don't whoop my kids.
Then who does?
Robert chastised them. Well, not them, but Robert chastised them. I don't whoop my kids.
Robert is the father of 3-year-old Curtis, as well as the 1-year-old and TIMMEKA's unborn child.
Describe that then. What's he do?
Like he'll pop them, or like he'll punch them, or not like not with a lot of force, or he'll hit him in his thighs, if he pee on himself, he'll chastise.
Investigators later sat down with Robert in an effort to confirm her claims, but by his account, TIMMEKA is solely responsible for discipline, as he doesn't live with her and is rarely around the children.
So you don't know what her form of discipline is?
In my eyes, put him in the corner, don't give him no snacks. That's what she presents to me.
I don't whoop my kids. I do. You stand in the corner. That is my punishments, because I know how it feels to get beat. Punishments is standing in the corner. I've never whooped my kids. I don't pop my kids. I don't whoop my kids. I don't do none of that.
I think she lying through her yellow teeth. All right? She keeps saying how she don't beat her kids. She's trying to blame the kid's father now. All right? She has primary custody. He don't even live there. Right? She's walking with the child in the stroller when it all happened. Child protective custody already had the child. She just got the child back 3 months ago. This is an easy one.
Well, you say you're going to whoop him, but you don't.
TIMMEKA claims that 3-year-old Curtis often wet himself and peed in his bed during the night, something that made Robert particularly angry.
Did Robert put his hands on you?
Yes.
How physical does that get?
Bad. One time, he gave me a black eye. I had to cover it up because I didn't want them to take John John. I stood there and I stayed, but he's all I have.
During one supervised visit in February, just 4 months earlier, TIMMEKA reported to a caseworker that Robert had been abusing her for months and struck Curtis after he urinated on himself. Robert, however, denied any abuse at the time and said that he would stay away from TIMMEKA.
He's all I have. He's all I have, and if I get him in trouble, I have nothing. I have no support. I have
Don't cry now.
Literally, I have no.
What are you protecting? What happened? Are you willing to go to prison for the rest of your life for Robert?
No.
There's no protecting anyone at this point. We need to know.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know.
The more you continue down this path of trying to cover something, you're going to separate yourself from the child that you have now, and you're going to separate yourself from the child that you're carrying.
Finally, TIMMEKA begins to open up to the detectives, sharing what happened on the morning of Curtis's death.
Robert gets up before me. That's when I had woke up, and I'm like, it's still dark outside. Like, what is he crying for?
Still blaming him.
He's like, oh, I just whooped him because he just peed through the bed. And if y'all go to my house, y'all will see his drawers, the same drawers that he had on when he went to sleep, is sitting in my bathroom on the floor, pissy. His whole bed is still pissy, and that's in the living room.
Though not on the bathroom floor, crime scene investigators do locate a pair of stained children's underwear in TIMMEKA's apartment bathtub.
He wasn't himself that morning. After he whooped him, Robert, he wasn't himself. He was coughing. He wasn't himself. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink nothing. I made his favorite food. He didn't even want to eat the pizza. That's still, if y'all go to my house, I even wrapped it up in aluminum foil, put it in a plastic bag.
No tears.
We was gonna eat it when we got home. He didn't even want to eat. He didn't want to drink no water. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want anything. So I'm thinking, okay, he probably just not on it. He not feeling good. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, he about to die or none of that. I'm not thinking none of that. He said that his chest was hurting from his dad whooping him. And when I confronted Robert about it, I was gonna be next.
Cat.
I'm so sorry.
They know she cat.
I should have never let him whoop him. I didn't know. I didn't know how severe it was.
Shut up, silly woman.
Detective moves closer to TIMMEKA, offering her comfort as she urges her to own up to an earlier lie.
So you never went to the splash party?
No! That was the story he told me to tell.
Who told you to tell?
Robert. Robert told
Stop
me
the
to say,
cat.
Robert, I don't want to get hurt anymore.
Why would Robert tell you to say you took him to the park?
Because we just got them back. We didn't want to lose them again.
Okay, but who was he afraid of finding out?
But child services.
From what?
Okay, Robert wasn't even supposed to be around them.
Okay.
At all. They didn't want Robert around the kids at all because he was beating on me. They didn't want him around them, but I was still allowing him because that's their dad.
Yeah.
Robert has yet to hear any of TIMMEKA's allegations against him. When asked, he openly admits that despite promising to stay away from TIMMEKA, he spent the night with her on the eve of Curtis's murder. But by his account, Curtis was fine. And
Dirty ass
unharmed when he
bitch.
left for work early the following morning, where he remained all day until receiving the tragic news of his son's death over the phone. Still, investigators act on TIMMEKA's claims, not realizing the story they've been told is about to take a much darker turn.
You're going to be under arrest right now.
I love my son.
I understand.
I done nothing.
This is nothing personal, but because it's a
I love
3-year-old
my man. That was my little man. I love my man.
You're going to be held overnight. We got to verify your story because she made
That was my little man.
a whole bunch of allegations.
That was my little man.
Okay.
He should have stayed in foster care if he was going to be like this. I would have left him there. He would have been better off there with them.
Robert's sister, who has been suspicious of TIMMEKA's story from the start, enters the room to comfort her brother, and the detectives explain why he's been placed in handcuffs.
She finally admitted that she's not going to the splash park. Okay. But she's saying that she had to say that because Robert told her to stick to the story or you'll never see it again.
Just hold on, Poppy. That's why you have your job. That's why you have your job to back you up. And
so that's okay. Curtis was heavily abused. He had bruises from head to toe.
The signs or what may have you, like, we had our suspicions.
So he trying to tell me something.
Yeah, him, not being able to use the bathroom, potty train correctly.
He always cry when I leave.
So it was like, we kind of figured, but we didn't know.
Robert did mention that she wanted him to discipline, but he said he didn't. He would.
And he never. We never believe. We believe in disciplining our children, but not to that magnitude. He always wanted to be.
I say with my daughter, she'll tell you how much she loves me and how much I love her.
And my children, he helped me raise my 2 children.
With him, how much I love him when he with me.
Robert claims that he wasn't even told why his son was placed in foster care in the first place. But according to police records, Curtis was removed from their care as an infant due to neither parent being able to provide stable housing, as well as TIMMEKA's ongoing mental health issues, which, quote, interfere with her ability to provide adequate care for the children. Further records reveal that TIMMEKA has lost custody of all of her children except 1-year-old John.
Then she mentioned about she had another baby that passed away, but he was buried in Georgia. She never mentioned the baby's name or anything like that. And all she said was, I got a child here and a child in Georgia that's already buried, and I don't know if I want to bury my child or cremate. We never even knew about the birth of the other
girls and another boy.
Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, raised and took care of him since he was just 1 week old. According to court documents, TIMMEKA attended weekly visits, bonded with the baby, and even fed and changed him. However, as time progressed, she began threatening and cursing at caseworkers, refusing to take her medications, failing drug screens, and visiting less often. But according to TIMMEKA, she had serious concerns about their level of care.
I had an issue with the foster people whooping him. I had paperwork where I used to complain when my son used to come visit us with black eyes bleeding in his ears. He had whips. He had scratch marks. He had all around his neck. He had scratch marks. All around his neck, he had scratch marks. I used to complain about that, and they said there was nothing that I could do because he was not in my care.
This is far from the truth. While concerns were raised about Curtis's safety and well-being, those complaints came from his foster family.
Look at that.
One report, for example, said TIMMEKA was allowed overnight visits, but Curtis would return wearing the same clothes, which were soaked in urine. No complaints were made about the foster family regarding scratches, black eyes, welts, or bleeding while Curtis was in their care.
I should have protected you. I'm so sorry. Fucking so sorry.
Reports also describe TIMMEKA's lengthy arrest history, including for domestic violence, grand theft auto, resisting arrest, contempt of court, assault, and aggravated menacing. And despite a documented history of not completing drug screens or attending counseling, in January of 2023, Judge Allison Floyd ordered 3-year-old Curtis to be returned to his mother's full custody and terminated protective supervision. Of not completing drug screens or attending counseling, in January of 2023, Judge Allison Floyd ordered 3-year-old Curtis to be returned to his mother's full custody and terminated protective supervision. In her order, she ruled that the child's return to the home of TIMMEKA Eggleton, quote, will not be contrary to the child's best interest.
She should lose her job.
The doctor said he had extremely amount bruising, a lot in the neck area, in the midsection, and a lot of what she considered blunt force trauma. She also said the damage that was the fatal damage was a laceration to his heart.
Look at her fake.
And that is caused by something striking him, something hard. And according to the medical examiner, that he pretty much passed away immediately.
Given this fact, it's difficult to imagine TIMMEKA would not have known the toddler was deceased before she placed him in the stroller.
I used to say silly things like, where are all the good men at? Until I started taking accountability. Now I know I'm just an ain't shit ass bitch.
According to the autopsy, the 3-year-old was likely deceased before he was ever put in the stroller. Abrasions and lacerations covered his head, neck, and torso, the bruising pattern consistent with being hit by a belt. He was struck with such force that it lacerated the back of his heart, causing his chest cavity to fill with blood.
I didn't know. I promise you, I didn't know.
He lost that blood so quick, he would not have lived for minutes.
I didn't know, sir.
What happened?
I'm telling you, that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened.
No
so
tears.
You're telling me Robert beat him and left, and you put him in a stroller.
I didn't put.
He hopped in a stroller.
Curtis put it.
And you walked around randomly.
I'm walking.
Okay.
I'm walking, and then I'm thinking that they both fell asleep. That he wasn't breathing. I didn't know none of that. I didn't know.
Surveillance footage shows TIMMEKA casually walking down the street toward the Family Dollar. Her 1-year-old child in the back appears upright and alert, but 3-year-old Curtis is slumped over the front, completely unmoving in his seat. Given more time to think, TIMMEKA recalls that Robert is the one who ultimately put him in the stroller.
He carried him, put him in his stroller, put his seatbelt on him. We started walking the path that we said, and we went our separate ways.
So when you guys, was Robert planning on going to Family Dollar with you?
I believe so. I can't really say. I believe he was, and he had received a phone call, and he kissed us, and he went his separate way.
But this remains to be seen, given Robert's claims he was at work all morning. Surveillance footage captures the moment she arrived at the Family Dollar around 3:08 p.m., but the video does little to support her claims that this is the moment she discovered the 3-year-old unresponsive. When she arrives, TIMMEKA pushes the stroller to the side and simply stands around until a man hands her a flyer. She tucks it into the stroller and, without acknowledging her children, continues to simply linger nearby. Finally, she peeks into the store but doesn't appear to ask anyone for help before closing the door. Then, without ever once touching Curtis, checking for a pulse, or attempting to wake him, she heads inside and asks for a phone to dial 911.
Crazy.
Only now does the gathering crowd realize the toddler is pale and unresponsive. Bystanders quickly pull him from the seat and lay him on the curb to perform CPR, while TIMMEKA begins jumping up and down as if in a sudden state of panic. The store manager describes the whole incident as feeling staged.
Like, she didn't seem like a grieving mother. She didn't, we had asked her, like, so what do you want to do as an idea as far as services, stuff like that. She was walking around normally, like nothing really happened.
Regardless, given TIMMEKA's damning allegations against Robert, the detective says his hands are tied and he has no choice but to hold him in jail overnight while they investigate. Given a moment alone, Robert calls his daughter to explain that he won't be able to pick her up tonight.
I'm gonna leave you stay with your uncle because I told you she said she's gonna tell her a whole bunch of stuff and they gotta verify my story.
Toxic as hell.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be out by tomorrow, okay? I know I'm gonna be out by tomorrow.
Still, they're told there's nothing anyone can do but wait for the evidence to come to light.
No, I love you, Mommy.
I love you.
We're gonna take care of this. We're gonna get through this. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Investigators would later confirm that Robert got on a bus to work as early as 8:19 a.m., nearly 7 hours before TIMMEKA would begin her walk to Family Dollar. Time cards and surveillance would prove he remained at work until he received the call about his son. Additionally, after speaking with a neighbor, investigators learned that TIMMEKA would often talk about Robert, complaining that he would not discipline the children or so much as raise his voice. TIMMEKA's own foster mother would go on to describe her as someone who could lie very convincingly, but the evidence speaks volumes. Robert was released after spending one night in jail with no formal charges. Curtis's autopsy revealed evidence that he had been beaten repeatedly in the months leading up to his death, a reality that cut deepest for his foster mother, Michelle. After he was returned to TIMMEKA, Michelle still tried to visit and look after him, refusing to stop caring for the child she loved and had planned to adopt. 5 days following the murder of 3-year-old Curtis Witcher, 30-year-old TIMMEKA Eggleton was arrested and later indicted on 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of endangering children.
Good.
In September of 2023, TIMMEKA gave birth to her new baby. According to court documents, the infant and her 1-year-old son have been placed in a foster care home together. On June 11, 2024, TIMMEKA pleaded guilty as part of a plea deal, and 2 of the 5 counts were dropped. During sentencing, TIMMEKA told the judge, "I should have never gotten him back. I wasn't fit to be a mother." Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, also delivered a statement. She faced TIMMEKA directly and told her, "You are no mother. You're a monster." The judge sentenced TIMMEKA Eggleton to a total of 31 to 35 years to life in prison, with 409 days credited for time served.
She got exactly what she deserved. That is a crazy story. Mental health and women, right? We could talk about women now because she was convicted of it and she was the guilty parent in this situation. But mental health is real. All right? Women deal with this mental health issue, especially after having children. I don't know what her mental state was before this situation or before she started having children. But whatever it is, she needs to be treated for it. And now she's going to have plenty of time to get treated for it. It's a sad story. All right? Monogamy is an illusion. All relationships are time sensitive. I'm not here to argue with you. Catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But catch you on the next one, man.